Welcome, everyone, to the No DQ review number 289. Virtue was supposed to open up here, but something happened, some technical difficulties. Hopefully, he'll be back with us in just a second. So for now, oh, there he is.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Listen, when you don't tell me when to show up, what to do. This is my show. So if we log on a few minutes before 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, if it's Sunday night, and we need a few minutes, the No DQ Galaxy can wait.
All right, Virtue with some technical difficulties. Everything's good now, apparently. Let's go ahead and get this ball rolling.
You just said I froze.
You did.
So like I said, I start the show when I want. If I come in and I need a few minutes and it's past 7 o'clock, the No DQ Galaxy can wait a few minutes. You don't need to start at exactly 7. In the event, I need more time. You understand?
Got it.
Okay. So going forward, when I ask for a few more minutes, just give us a few more minutes. The No DQ Galaxy will be here whether it's 7 o'clock or whether it's 7:02. They're not going to go anywhere. Now, with that said, this is the No DQ review number 289, right?
Yes.
And Big G was, hey, Big G, say something here. I want to hear your new headset here. I want to see what the No DQ Galaxy.
Test.
All right. What do you guys think? Give him feedback in the chat. Anyway, I'm Virtue, the moderator. The moderator, right? Doing things how I want, when I want. Nobody tells me what to do. Big G is back in the house this week. Walter Cruz. Dude, fuck you.
Go ahead, Walter.
Hey, yeah, I'm doing well. Well, mentally I'm doing well, but I'm a little under the weather, but I'm ready to go. I'm not long in the intro.
You want to keep trolling me? You want to keep instigating me? I will continue to do this. And if you don't show me respect, I will continue to stall and delay the show. So you want to keep winding your thing? All right. So Big G is in the house. Walter Cruz is in the house. TJS, I don't know if we can hear you or not, because just before we went on the air, we tried to test you, and that's why I needed a few more minutes, and nobody heard you, and Aaron went live. So TJS, how's it going? Can we hear you?
I hope so. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. So how's it going? I'll start with you.
Going good. I saw these topics. I heard about the news that is reported out there, and I kind of wanted to come on here and say my piece. So, looking forward to it. I think I might have some hot takes for later. We'll just have to see. But
yeah, you requested to be on, and so did Big G. So I hope you both have something good to say. So normally I'm chasing you guys to be on. So this will be interesting. Big G, what's going on?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm enjoying my new job. Get to come home a lot earlier. Enjoying Raw the past couple weeks. SmackDown, we got Clash this Saturday. So like I always say, let's get this ball rolling, baby. We do have some good topics tonight. So I'm interested about topic number 2.
Interesting. And that's kind of like a revisit topic. We'll do that in the middle because it changes, right? Every 6 months, depending on wrestlers, it changes. So I like to do these reoccurring things. Walter, what's going on?
Nothing much. A little under the weather, but the show must go on, as they say. So I'm ready to get into it. We do got some good topics. I'm ready to go.
Mr. Reliable, even when you're sick, you are here. And I know if I didn't come back, you would have moderated the show. You would have picked up the ball. You would have done it. I know you would have. So thank you for that. Definitely. Okay, Aaron, over to you. You might want to disregard that first super chat, I think.
Oh yeah, that guy was already banned. It's one of those nights tonight, but we're back in the scheme of things here. We're ready to go and discuss this past week in wrestling and what's to come. We have Clash at the Castle this coming Saturday on Peacock and the WWE Network. Glad to have everybody on tonight. Big G, it's great to have you back on a regular basis now. I know you're happy to be here. You're happy to talk wrestling with us, and we love talking wrestling with you. So TJS, thank you for being on as always. And even when he's sick, Mr. Reliable Walter Cruz is here, and we're not going to try to stress him out too much. So let's keep it civil here. Virtue, I apologize for giving you a hard time at the beginning. So let's go ahead and get this show going.
Big G, I'm going to start with you. Now, this isn't the topic you said you want to talk about, but the first thing we need to discuss is, and I don't really, whatever these dirt sheets say, a wrestler wants to depart one company and who knows, go explore their options elsewhere. But Ricochet is currently in question. And a couple things come to my mind when I think of him. Like, obviously, when it comes to what Will Ospreay does and those types over in AEW, a lot of people think Ricochet would be a good fit over there. So that's why this is interesting. In WWE, he's also, his significant other is Samantha Irvin, everybody's favorite ring announcer, except mine. And she's there. And if he does leave WWE, now they're working for two separate companies, or does she get out of her contract when it's up and go over with him? Who knows what's going to happen, but we must discuss, because I think that he's not happy with his role. He's on TV a lot, but some of these wrestlers, I think, just want to be booked over all the time. Champions, and I don't know. What do you think of the whole Ricochet thing? Is he just going to take some time off? Is he going to go to the land of make-believe with Tony Khan to wrestle with those guys? Remember, he had that match with Will Ospreay several years ago, and that's kind of when this style was talked about by the internet more so than ever. I think that even happened before all the Okada and Omega matches too. What is your take here, and does this affect everybody's favorite ring announcer?
So Ricochet leaving, I mean, I feel like he's done very well in WWE as far like as an in-ring competitor. His mic skills weren't all that great, but he didn't really need to talk. He did all his talking in the ring, and that's what I feel like a lot of superstars are doing this day and age. As far as Samantha, I mean, if she's still under contract with WWE, I mean, she'll probably be there for a while. I love Samantha. I love the emotion that she has when she makes the announcing, when she announces the wrestlers that are coming in, just like Lillian did back in the day. Even Howard Finkel did in the day. It was all over TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. They showed the video of her emotion when Cody won the WWE Championship at Mania this past April. So I love Samantha Irvin. Like you said, she's not everybody's cup of tea, and I've seen it all over X too, and this and that. And then last night, when they showed the replay of Ricochet getting beat up by Braun Breaker, which I love, by the way. They kind of did the whole WCW thing where Nash threw Mysterio into the trailer truck. They did that with Braun and Ricochet, and they did the whole car angle, which I haven't seen in WWE in a long, long time. If they've done it recently, I can't remember it, but if that was his way out, I mean, that's how you should go out. Now, I don't know when his contract officially ends. They said in the summer. So, I mean, he could renegotiate. They can give him a big chunk of change and he can come back. Like you said earlier, he's been on TV a lot lately. He's in this whole feud with Breaker and Dragunov. And so, I mean, like I said, if he's gone, and then maybe, there's TNA too. There's New Japan. He doesn't have to go to AEW, because he goes to AEW, he's just going to be lost in the shuffle, honestly. And, we'll see what happens. Like I said, there's AEW, TNA, New Japan. I'm not going to say Ring of Honor, because that's technically part of AEW too. So, but good for Ricochet if this was his last hurrah in WWE.
I mean, it's not the Vince McMahon era anymore. Like, I thought it was supposed to be like greener on the other side with Triple H there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he stays and he'll come back after some time off. I mean, are they married, him and Samantha Irvin, or are they?
No, they're just engaged. And I did like them showing the reaction of Samantha after the replay and her going to be that's showing a lot of reality.
They're doing a lot of stories on Raw too. So he could very well be staying, and this could just be part of an angle, and he'll be back. Walter, what do you think? In between the sniffles or coughs.
Yeah, it's a little weird. The way they did it is almost like when you write someone off TV who's legit in real life injured, so then you injured them on TV so that you can get the pop when they came back. It's almost like not a send off. It was almost like a now, because what they inadvertently did is they made me want to see Ricochet get his revenge on Braun like a few months down the line now when he recuperates. Like if you took this for like real life, you give him 3 to 6 months to recover, and then all of a sudden Braun is in the middle of a match, his music hits and he interrupts and it's a big pop. So it's like a weird thing if this is his actual send off, like, because now they made me, at least for me, want to see him come back to get the revenge on Braun Breaker. But in terms of if it is legit and he wants to go somewhere, I mean, it would be funny if he signs with TNA, because now they're doing this weird thing where TNA works with WWE, so he could end up working with WWE anyway. So, but hopefully he doesn't. AEW does like the smaller people in his frame and the bouncing and the flips and how every AEW books their matches, so they'll probably do that. But everybody they seems to sign they're hot for the first like 4 to 6 months after the WWE, and then they juggle it and they drop the ball with everybody. They just don't know what they're doing with people. So I would rethink it. It's almost like the angle that they did was to real life get him on TV and actually negotiate. Hey, look, we don't want you to leave the company backstage, and actually try to get him to re-sign the way they did it. Like, to me, I think there's some negotiation going on or something. Like, it might not be what we all think, and it might not be. I got a funny suspicion that it's not the last we see of Ricochet. He's going to somehow at the last minute re-sign or something.
He's going to Ricochet right back. WWE. Yeah. All right. TJS. Like, I wouldn't mind if you went to AEW and you took Samantha Irvin with her. I mean, I'd be ecstatic, right? And then, all those fans could have them and enjoy them. Everybody's happy, but nothing's going to happen. But go ahead and thoughts. Yes, we are talking about Ricochet.
Yeah. Wow. Well.
Slow?
Yeah. Well, I think in kayfabe, he is still the WWE Speed Champion, and he's going to have that match against Andrade in kayfabe because it's a taped show. So technically, he hasn't had his last match yet. Aaron, is that right? Do you keep up with Speed?
I know what's going to happen on Speed, but we're not going to spoil it right now.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just don't know how they're going to explain that, but maybe they just won't. Maybe they'll say something like, "Oh, the show's taped." Anyway, people are saying that Ricochet would get lost in the shuffle in AEW. I don't agree, because I think AEW is like custom built for people like Ricochet. Look at Will Ospreay, for example. If Will Ospreay went to WWE, I think he would get lost in the shuffle there, because I don't know. I just don't think Will would fit good in WWE. His promos are iffy, and he does lots of flips. I think he would get about as far as Ricochet did in WWE. I think that they both have, ceilings. So I think Ricochet is going to go to AEW, and I think he's probably going to have a promising career there. And I get it. Like, we know that this guy was never going to be WWE champion or anything like that. So I guess, he made his money in WWE. So I guess he's ready to just go have fun for a little bit. And that's what I'm expecting. And like I said, I feel like he's going to fit right in, because Ospreay is like their top guy right now. And I think him and Ricochet are about on the same level. So it really just depends on where these guys are. There's some guys that would not fit in AEW, like Braun Strowman. Could never imagine him in AEW. And then you have guys that are in AEW that would fit better in WWE. Like, I think Killswitch or Luchasaurus would do better in WWE than he does AEW. So anyway, that's my piece on it. I'm not really that surprised, but I definitely expect him to end up in AEW, because that seems like where he belongs.
Who was the last WWE person that left for AEW? Why? Because I know so many have done it. What was the most recent?
Was it
Copeland?
Copeland, right?
And that was last year, right? So it's been a minute. So we'll see. I mean,
we've
heard all these wrestlers or contracts are coming up or in negotiations, like Drew McIntyre, and granted, he's a main eventer or almost main eventer. So we'll see what happens. All right, Aaron.
Well, first of all, I do not think he's going to TNA Wrestling. I think that's highly unlikely in all likelihood. After watching Raw, I feel like it's still a possibility he can come back. That angle was designed to potentially set up a rematch with Braun Breaker, not Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker down the line. I think he's probably going to end up in AEW. I just sense that. Now, keep in mind, he's had a good run in WWE, but at the same time, this was mentioned before, he hit his ceiling. He was never very good on the mic, and that was probably the biggest factor that held him back in WWE. But he did get some high-profile matches, won some titles, got a lot of TV time, but he's never going to be past a certain level in WWE. In AEW, he could be a bigger fish in a smaller pond, and some people say he may get lost in the shuffle after a while, but I think that because of Will Ospreay, Ricochet is probably going to get a world title pay-per-view match. It's just a matter of when. I do think Ricochet versus Will Ospreay for the world title is something that we will see if Ricochet does in fact go to AEW. And that'll be big for him. He'll make some money. Tony Khan will bring the money bags out for him, and he'll get the match with Ospreay. And there's a half dozen guys, or maybe even more, that Ricochet can work with in AEW that are fresh opponents. It might be a good change of scenery for him. What's going to happen with Samantha Irvin and Ricochet, that remains to be seen. We've seen significant others follow their partner to other promotions. We saw Brandy Rhodes leave when Cody left, so it does happen. I hope she stays in WWE. I know Virtue's not the biggest fan of her, but I love her work, and I hope she stays in WWE. But, I mean, if she does go when her contract's up, I mean, I would not be shocked. TJS?
I just wanted to say, Aaron, do you remember when Ricochet was cutting that promo and he said, "I'm not here to talk," and then Drew McIntyre said, "Well, then shut up." Do you remember that? That was
exactly.
That was Ricochet's, or that was at least the first nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And just keep in mind that until Ricochet actually signs an AEW contract, anything can happen. He could come back to WWE. You never know. But they got new people they're focusing on. And at the end of the day, he's only going to be in a certain position. So it might be time to go. As Cody Rhodes once said, sometimes you just got to know when to leave the territory. And this might be the time for Ricochet. We'll see how things play out with that in the coming weeks. It could change. We do have a couple of super chats here. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, "Hey, Big G," and I cannot pronounce this, but I think he's asking if you're a fan of Jeff Jarrett.
Yes, he is. He said,
so you are.
He said, "Since the ein Fan von Jeff Jarrett," and I wrote back to him. I was like, 9.
Oh, come on! I don't believe that. I refuse to believe that. All right, so somebody on here who, this is not one of my burner accounts, I promise you. Arthur Jones sent in a $5 super chat. Well, first of all, he sent in a $2 super chat. So, Virtue, I guess you're doing something right because you got him to send 2 super chats. He says, "Virtue hates Samantha Irvin. What a damn mark." Any response to that?
I don't hate her. I just don't like her.
You're just not a fan. She's not your cup of tea.
Nope. Yeah, just like I said earlier. I'm not the fan jumping the rail, grabbing the microphone, doing ring announcing. It's just not my. I like the Michael Buffer, Finkel, Tony Chimmel, Tenzer, But again, there's fans that like her, so great. Back to like the separation. If Ricochet does go to AEW, separation is, and they work for different promotions. Zelina Vega's in WWE and Malachi Black's in AEW, so that there's some couples that can make it work.
Right. I mean, they could potentially make it work. I mean, we'll see what happens. Arthur Jones sent in a $5 super chat, so here we go. He says, "Hi guys, even the smuck Mark Virtue, it's not your show. Virtue, it's everyone's show. Remember that, you damn Mark."
289 episodes. I bet you haven't been in the chat for 289 episodes.
I've never heard of this.
And Aaron's been here for all 289 as well. But yeah, come on, man. Thanks for the $5. Aaron appreciates it.
This is Aaron's burner. Arthur, Aaron, they sound the same.
Shut up.
Rift Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, Aaron's sending money. Yep,
Aaron,
Aaron's sending money to himself.
Aaron, isn't your middle name Arthur Aaron?
No, it is not.
Aaron Arthur Rift Jones.
Yeah. Anyways, enough of that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. I'm ready to get the ball rolling here. Virtue, what do we got next? Oh, wait a second. Real Wyatt sent in $2, so thank you for that. He says, Ricochet not main event or anything like a McIntyre. I mean, very true, but only a few people can be as handsome as Drew McIntyre, as Pat McAfee said on Monday night. Drew McIntyre, tall, handsome, Scottish man, you know, he's one in a million. Ricochet is great, but I mean, he's not the only guy that can do some of that crazy stuff. Obviously, Will Ospreay can do that stuff, and there's quite a few guys that can do the insane acrobatic maneuvers. It's very entertaining, but a lot of people can do it. And McIntyre, sometimes just having that personality, it's hard to. It's something you can't really teach, right? Like you just either have it or you don't. Or something you can get better with practice. Some people are just born to do it. Just they have it, natural instinct, and that's Drew McIntyre. Arthur Jones is back again.
Super chats.
Guess who's back? Back again. Arthur Jones sent in a $2 super chat. Says he's been watching Virtue, not missing one episode. There you go. We appreciate it. Oh, it's Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super sticker, which I cannot see. Can somebody tell me what the sticker is?
I don't see it either. It just says $1.99. You probably got to be on.
I don't see it either. Yeah.
If you go on the actual, when you watch it back, you'll see it on the comments.
I got a message, Dana from StreamYard. How about you make it so we can actually see the super stickers,
Aaron,
when they pop up?
I see a thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that, Psycho Jet Black, and thank you, Arthur. We love having you on. We appreciate your feedback, and now we're ready to move on to the next topic.
All right,
wait,
Walter.
I just want to say, Ricochet going to AEW, he loses that uniqueness because everybody does what he does and all that flipping stuff.
And you have to change his name. I guess he could be Prince Puma again, or maybe he'll be Rick O'Shea, and he can be Irish or something.
Yeah. Like at least on Raw or something, it was unique. Not everybody's doing what he's doing, but now it's like on AEW, that's a dime a dozen. Everybody does all that.
Good point. Yeah, he definitely stands out more in WWE because there aren't guys like that do all the crazy flips and acrobatics that he does. But in AEW, that's kind of the norm. And AEW is better for him because the wrestling is the number one focal point over cutting promos and being a character and that kind of stuff. It's more just about the moves. So in a way it's better for him, but at the same time, it's going to be harder for him to stand out because, all these other guys do the same type of wrestling. And, him and Ospreay will have a hell of a acrobatic performance. It's going to be a spectacle. So if that's your thing, you got something very significant to look forward to. The Real Wyatt wants to know what our topic here is going to be. He says, let me guess, Virtue going to talk about Cody again, like how stale Cody is? Go ahead.
No, I mean, we really, other than that one time, we really haven't talked about Cody too much during this post-WrestleMania run of his. What we're going to talk about, and I'm sure we've covered this, 289 episodes, we probably had this as a topic before, but it changes. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because I think it's more, I want to know what people's secondary favorite wrestling promotion is. So, TJS, I'll start with you. What's your primary favorite wrestling promotion, right? Probably, it's going to be interesting because I think we'll all have the same, but it's changed because I remember when Big G, it was AEW. He was all marking out CM Punk went there, driving to Chicago. So TJS, what's your primary favorite wrestling promotion today? And kind of explain why. And then your secondary. And you can even go as far as to say what favorite show. Because I have a feeling Aaron, I think I know what he's going to say. But go ahead, TJS. Have at it. And you got to mention your secondary. I don't care what you do first. You can do the secondary first.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we'll just get the primary out of the way. It's
Okay.
WWE, of course. I feel like they've just been.
E-Drone.
Yeah, I guess I'm one of the trolls that are messing with Tony Khan No, but really, I think that they've just been on fire since, God, I mean, forever. It feels like since, I don't know. I mean, I guess the first SummerSlam when Triple H took over, that's when I really enjoyed it. Then, I mean, so much has happened. They brought The Rock in, and it's not been a chore to watch. And that leads me to my favorite show. Wow, this is actually tied. It's tied between Raw and SmackDown. Because I really like all of the stories that they have going on Raw, but the thing that I don't like about Raw is that it's 3 hours, and I feel those 3 hours like every single Monday. Those 3 hours feel like 6 hours. So even if the show is good, there's only so much of it I want to watch. Like when I watched Breaking Bad. Those episodes were like 40 minutes to an hour. I would not want to watch 3-hour episodes of Breaking Bad. So
what's wrong with you?
Well, you gotta.
Some people binge watch like 6 or 7 episodes in one night.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, you know what you gotta like draw the line somewhere. And I think what hurts Raw so bad is the ads. So anyway. WWE, obviously my first favorite. And SmackDown, I like SmackDown because it's very easy to watch. 2 hours, and it has the bigger stars on it. Roman Reigns.
And you're home on a Friday night from 8 to 10 or whatever time, 7 to 9.
Yeah. And Monday night, got to get up Tuesday and go to work. Friday. So, secondary. God, I want to say AEW, but
this is the tough one. I mean, some people might say I don't have one. I don't know, but go ahead.
I kind of don't. I really kind of don't. I wanted to say AEW because I would love to. I want to like AEW so bad, but they just feel so cold. Also, Tito El Camino did not suck. But yeah, AEW. I do not watch Dynamite. Stopped watching it. I watch Aaron's recap so I can kind of keep up with it. And then if Aaron says, hey, check this out on Dynamite, then I usually do. He's been recommending the Jericho segments a lot. Uh-oh. That's a cat. Oh.
The cats have taken over the show.
Yes.
It's not a cat. It's 2 cats.
2, yeah.
No, it's just one.
Look, here's what I'm going to say. Can my secondary promotion be WWF? Because that's what I like to go back and watch old clips. I'm sorry, but I cannot give this.
Maybe NXT, even though that's still the same, but I might let that one slide.
Okay, well, I'll give it that then because, I mean, yes, I've tried that. But yeah. I also want to even say TNA because I've been watching some old TNA footage, like from the early days, and then all the way up until like 2010. But it's not AEW.
You're definitely not turning on TBS to watch wrestling.
No, I don't remember the last time I watched Dynamite live. Ever since Punk left that company, I've stopped watching weekly. So
fair enough.
I'm a Punk mark.
Fair enough. This might be a clean sweep. I don't know. You set the trend. We'll see. We'll go to Walter next.
Yeah. I'm an 80s baby, and I grew up with WWE. I grew up with WWE and NWA because of where I lived and how my family was introduced. So I'll never turn my back in WWE. There's no way something's going to overtake the promotion for me. So that's always going to be my premiere. And in terms of favorite shows, to me it's tied between SmackDown and NXT. Like I'm really into NXT lately and SmackDown. Raw, I can stomach, but like TJS said, that third hour gets to me. And you're right, TJS. You can actually feel that third hour. It's like it drags. Like you really can. Like so, I get exactly what you meant. Sometimes I'm like, ugh. Like sometimes they do a good episode with the 3 hours fly by, but the majority of the time you feel it. Second promotion. Does UFC count? Because that would be my second to anything. But
technically, it's they're all under that umbrella now.
You guys know I'm the MMA guy, so UFC. But no, if I had to stick with wrestling, TNA over AEW. TNA at least is interesting, and they got Joe Henry. They got all this going on, and they're crossing the border from I don't know why I said border, but somebody said burrito earlier, and it made me think of Taco Bell. I don't know, but anyway, they're crossing with each other. They're crossing the streams like you shouldn't do, like the Ghostbusters said. But they're showing up on WWE TV, and this is gonna put more eyes on them. So maybe this will help them become number 2 to everybody. So. To me, and then it's the women's division as well. They got the best women's division in North America to me. Like Japan's a whole other thing. That's its own monster. But in terms of North America, TNA has the best women's division. So it's TNA if I'm forced to pick another one, but it's really UFC for me.
Okay.
What about Power Slap?
All right, I figure Big G will be quick on this, but go ahead, Big G.
Obviously for me, it's WWE is number 1.
Remember when it was AEW? Remember when it was Britt Baker? Remember? Got the memory.
I remember. It was somebody's like sound is like really weird.
Yours.
No, hold on.
So it's that headset you got on.
No, it's not me. Hold on.
I can hear you if you want to continue. You want me to let Aaron go while you're figuring this out?
God, that picture always makes me laugh. Well, I mean, so while he's doing that, I'll just mention that AEW was supposed to be like an alternative, and it seems like it's not. And again, we want AEW to succeed. Like, I still pay the money for the shows, even though I come on here and say it's the shows or that I'm not interested in the weekly.
AEW is making the same mistakes WCW did, and they make it in a faster time period, which is a shame. Because now, how do you let TNA, who's the little engine they could, that everybody was talking shit, who never thought would survive? Sorry for cursing in the stream, Aaron. But, survive, who thought TNA was going to survive? Like, TNA was supposed to die 3 times. Like, literally. They kept saying, oh, it's not going to survive this. It's not going to survive that. And it's really surpassing AEW. AEW is making too many WCW mistakes. Instead of learning from the past, they're repeating it.
Big G, are you ready to go yet? Aaron.
All right, I guess I'll go now. Virtue, when you were talking, you were staticky, so I'm not sure.
The old internet went down, so I switched to my hotspot. So if you can hear me now, we should be good to go.
It's kind of messed up, but I'll go ahead and give my thoughts on the promotions right now. I would say pretty much for the entire history that I've been watching wrestling, WWE has always been my favorite, my personal favorite. There was a period when the NWO got hot. I was into WCW a little bit more. And then in 2019, when AEW started, I think there was a brief period where I was maybe more into AEW programming than WWE. When you had Roman Reigns getting dog food put on him, I think that AEW, being the fresh promotion, was a little bit more compelling.
Drone.
Yeah. Well, no, that would be what's the term for an AEW fan?
I don't know if I can say that on air.
Oh. Well, I thought there was a PG name that they have for AEW fans.
What is it like?
A freakazoid.
Is that? Yeah.
I'm an AEW freakazoid. So anyways, in 2019, when WWE creative was weak, you had Roman Reigns getting dog food put on him and all that stuff. Like, it was a toss-up for me. But then once the Bloodline got going, there was no turning back. Like, one of WWE shows I would tend to find more enjoyable than anything AEW was putting out. Like, I think SmackDown was the best show when the Bloodline was at its peak, and now Raw is putting out some very compelling television. I'm loving the Liv Morgan storyline with Dominic, and everything that's going on with the Judgment Day has been entertaining. Chad Gable, Right now, as far as the shows, like I don't watch TNA really, and I barely watch NXT. So I think I'd have to go Raw, Dynamite, SmackDown, and then maybe Collision would be fourth, and NXT it would be fifth. That would be my order at this point. But yeah, AEW is number two, but I feel like they're a more distant number two than they were just a couple years ago, and I hope they can turn it around. Like, I want to see them become competitive with WWE and get those numbers up, and just give us a more exciting show. Like the wrestling's great, but I feel like something's missing from AEW, and it just feels very much like a second-rate promotion at this point. Like in 2019, they actually felt like a major league wrestling company, and they haven't felt like that in a while. So
they got Punk in 21, right? Is that when he came?
Yeah. And that was a period, like I would say it on the NoDQ review, they had momentum. They had Bryan Danielson and CM Punk all coming in at the same time. And for a brief period, it felt like maybe AEW could be right there at WWE's level, and then they slipped, and they continued to slip, unfortunately. So I hope they can turn it around. But yeah, WWE, AEW, distant number two, and I don't really follow the other promotions enough. So, it's basically AEW and WWE that I'm following at this point.
So by default, AEW is number two, basically.
By default.
Yeah.
Can you hear me yet, or am I still?
It sounds a lot better now.
You're
Okay.
good. So I thought it was.
Go ahead.
I thought it was me that was all choppy, but it was you. So
you still sound like you're on the phone. You know how you'd call. You know how you'd watch the news and someone would call in on their phone for an interview. That's what you sound like to me. But that's okay because we can hear you.
I watched it back and I sound good on the actual.
Yeah, it's like you're calling in from a phone booth. That's cool. Go ahead. Are you going to agree with everyone else? You got your own.
Pretty much. I mean, so WWE is going to be the number one, obviously.
Okay.
I mean, Raw. I've been enjoying Raw a little bit more than SmackDown lately. I think that's because I kind of miss Roman Reigns. But I mean, SmackDown is there too. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But I'm liking the continuation of the Bloodline to see. I want to see how that's gonna end up at like the final. Like I said, we'll talk about that later. But AEW is like a far number two for me. It's like it's not it's there, but it's barely there. It's hard for me to watch Dynamite lately, And as far as like Raw goes, CJS mentioned it, like the 3 hours. There's some episodes where I feel like it drags, but like yesterday, I felt like it flew by, And then hopefully, with it going to Netflix in January, they can go back down to 2 hours, because there's not going to be. Yeah, you'll have the ads, but they won't have as much advertisement as they were on USA. So, yeah, WWE right now, and then AEW. Maybe TNA might be my number two here soon. I might be watching some TNA soon here. So,
fair enough. I mean, for me, it's WWE, obviously. SmackDown, because the Bloodline and the brutal, we want Roman. That's going to be getting louder and louder every week, and we'll talk about the Bloodline next. And Raw, like Aaron said, really good with a lot of different storylines right now that actually are fun to watch. So
it's more like reality based on Raw.
I'll be the one TJS that said I don't have a secondary. I'll watch Dynamite, but then if I get bored with it, I go on the clips on Twitter to make sure I see what happens. And then if I need to go back and watch it again on demand, I will. But it's hard to sit through AEW.
It just bores.
So you could say by default they're number two because I watch them. I don't watch TNA. I don't watch NW. I don't watch any of those other ones. NXT is technically WWE, so AEW is two by default. So think about that. They're two by default. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? But anyway, it's WWE obviously, and we're going to talk about our main event next. Anybody else? Last minute thoughts on this topic before we talk about the new Bloodline?
Only thing I wanted to add was, as far as NXT goes, I thought Battleground was just okay. I mean, if that's the best NXT can produce right now, I think sleeping on NXT is probably a good thing. Just saying.
There you go. All right, main event time, and we're going to talk about the new Bloodline and should it keep growing, which right now, obviously, it's like that. It's always been a heel faction, but now it really feels like a heel faction because like Roman had that cool factor where I think people started growing to like him because he was a good character change for him. But now people want to see this heel faction build up because they want the babyface Roman to come back. So who is the actual boss of this thing, right? Like right now, it's Solo saying he's doing it because he's there, but we know that there's a higher entity, and so I'll start with you, Walter, on this one. Should it keep growing? Who? And is the final boss the boss? Which I think it just feels like that's where they're going to go with this. But let's talk about this new Bloodline because they're trying to make it heelish dominant. So go ahead, Walter.
Yeah, I think they should add Jacob Fatu because everybody's just expecting that one. But after that, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want this Bloodline to become the NWO of this era where they started just letting everybody in and letting too many people in. Well, obviously you can't let everybody in because you have to actually be Samoan and related. Like the only non-Samoan in it is Paul Heyman. But like I love the dynamic of Paul Heyman. Obviously he's being bullied and he's scared of this. He's waiting for his tribal chief to save him. But yeah, I think the higher power, as you just put it, it's going to be The Rock. And then it ends up being like Rock's version of the Bloodline versus Roman Reigns' version of the Bloodline. And Roman's made it cool to be a heel, kind of like what NWO did in 96, 97. Everybody thought it was cool with the shirts and everything. And was cool to be a heel. And now they're going back to just being a heel. It lost the cool factor. But now they're trying to have like this scary factor, and like they're letting us see a different kind of side of Solo. We didn't see this side of Solo. Solo was just kind of the silent killer. Like Roman just had the point, and Solo knew what to do, and there was no talking. Now you're seeing different sides of Solo. So we'll see it. But yeah, he always keep everybody the way they're saying courtesy of the tribal chief, like the way they're breaking it is almost like what they want to say is the real tribal chief, and the way they're saying it is then Roman could come back and be like, this wasn't done in any of it in my name, and they could say we weren't talking about you, we were talking about the real tribal chief, The Rock, and then that's when the conflict starts. So once you add maybe one or two, maybe Jacob Fatu and what's Haku's other son's name? Why is it escaping me right now?
That starts with an H. Hikalu.
Yeah. He has one other son that's just as big as them, and he can join. And it's one of those two. And then after that, don't do too much because again, you're gonna fall right into the NWO. I mean, look at NWO. There was a point where, no disrespect, I like Disco Inferno, but like, what the hell? He was in NWO. So like at points, it's like don't let too much go because then it's just getting too much. Because then you got to start adding to Roman's side to try to even it out, and then it gets to be too much. So maybe one or two more members, and that's it. Then you got to stop it.
And people are like, it's not the same. Obviously, it's not. And so, like, you went from Roman Reigns to Solo. So yes, this needs that. If The Rock is going to be the true leader of this new Bloodline, we need to know that at some point, and that's when it'll be exciting. Even if he's not on TV all the time. But he has the big show where they reveal it, and every now and again he comes in and he kind of does what Roman did before. That's when it'll be just imagine at that point that we want Roman chants when The Rock tries to talk. It's going to be awesome. So go ahead, TJS. You can go next on this. This is just one of those things where we got to wait it out because Rock and Roman, you know what their ultimate plan is. Like Cody is still the champion, and that has to happen first, but the long-term plan was always to have Rock and Roman feud over the Bloodline, and it's going there.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
So, man, well, first, I just want to say that there are people that are saying like, oh, well, this new Bloodline, I saw this on X. People were like, oh, this new Bloodline just tries so hard to be the old Bloodline. That's the point. They're heels. They're supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to like them. And I think something that they need to do, like immediately, is Solo Sikoa needs to win some matches. Like, I'm sorry, like I think that they were doing a great job with Solo whenever he was the silent killer that Walter was talking about. But now, I mean, he looks intimidating, but you can't really take him as a threat when he just keeps losing or just doesn't wrestle at all. So maybe get him out there and squash people. Like, give him some squash matches. Do anything to heat these guys up. Tama Tonga has already lost to Randy Orton. I mean, it is Randy Orton, but you need to build these guys up. They need to win some matches. And because if you don't, then it's inevitably going to be Roman versus Solo at SummerSlam. I think that's where they're headed. And I think that no one's going to believe that Solo is going to win, but I feel like he should. He should beat Roman at least one time, so that way Roman can get one up on him, or that way there's more credibility, rather. But yeah, as far as them growing is concerned, yeah, I'm okay with adding more members. I personally love this story. I was a little bit worried once Roman lost the title. I was worried that this was going to be stale, but they've done it. Damn it, they've done it. It's entertaining every week for me. I look forward to seeing how Paul Heyman's going to react and what they're going to do every single week. So, and like you said, Virtue, they're making the people wait. Every single week, it sounds like the "We Want Roman" chants are getting louder. Like, remember, Roman was the guy that they were chanting "We want Cody" not that long ago.
Remember back after he beat Undertaker that night on Raw. Go away, go. Just
yeah.
Incredible.
It's different.
It is, and I love that night. That night. That those people and what they did to Roman set something off in his brain, and it didn't happen right away. And they had to do the leukemia remission and all that, but it was destined.
Oh yeah, I mean, and like I said, I love it. And yeah, with about it being Rock versus Roman, yeah, that's gonna happen. So just quick fantasy booking. I think it's gonna be Rock, or no, sorry, I think it's gonna be Solo versus Roman at SummerSlam. Maybe Roman Reigns beats. I could see that. Roman's not going to lose his first match back, so Roman beats him, and then at the end of the show, maybe Roman is like, "Why? Why'd you do this?" And then Solo can say, just like his dad, he'll say, "I did it for the Rock," and then that's it. That ends the show. So yeah, I'm loving where this is going. I can't wait for Roman to go on that big babyface run.
Yeah, and the Rock is going to be that heel. When he comes back, he's still going to be final boss, and we enjoyed that, and it's all going to be in a good place, and we're still going to see Cody fans melt once he has to start putting that title up against The Rock or Roman again. It's going to be some serious stuff, and they're going to be
on
pins and needles. Those Cody crybabies are going to be on pins and needles again, and it's going to be fun, and we need that for the review for views, and I can't wait. Big G, go ahead.
Yes. So I thought at one point Jacob Fatu was going to join the Bloodline, but now I think it's going to be different. I think Tonga and Tongaloa's brother, Hikalu, or whatever I'm sorry if I butchered it, but I know he just had his last appearance with New Japan, and I know WWE's been interested in him for a while too now. So I feel like he's going to be joining up with Solo's Bloodline. And like TJS, I've been enjoying it too. I'm like anticipating when Roman Reigns is going to come back now. So this is kind of my fantasy booking. I can see a Survivor Series being Solo's Bloodline with Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and Hikalu versus Roman Reigns, Jimmy, Jay, and Jacob Fatu. Because I think if Jacob Fatu, once he does come in, he's going to be a big baby face. He's part of the Fatus, and it'll be interesting. Like I said, I'm intrigued. I'm loving, just like TJS said, I'm loving Paul Heyman's reactions every single week. He's just like, every time they chant "We want Roman," he kind of just looks down and just like, he wants to cry. And then when like Solo like tells him to do something, like Paul switches and like takes it very seriously. So it's interesting to even. I thought after WrestleMania the Bloodline was just gonna go away too, but like I said, I'm liking the continuation of it, like Solo being the leader, and I'm sure The Rock is gonna be the boss that's pretty much given Solo the directions what to do, because I don't believe that Roman told Solo that he's the head of the table.
What if he did? Like, what if he comes back and he's that would be terrible. Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, we'll see how this all ends. But like I said before, my fantasy booking is at Survivor Series for War Games, Solo's Bloodline versus Roman's Bloodline.
Am I still crackling?
No, you're good
now.
Yeah.
Remember that one time Mr. Tito was on for what? Remember he was having some issues. It's bringing me back.
It was
to
like
that
episode 200. Yeah.
Walter, do you still got to go for this topic?
No, I went
Aaron does first. Aaron
does. Aaron. So we're all caught up. So over to Aaron.
Yep. All right, we got a couple super chats which I'll get to in just a minute. So as far as new members of the Bloodline, we mentioned War Games. I think it's going to be 4-on-4. It's just a matter of who's going to be on each side, and maybe it's 5-on-5. But right now we got 3 Bloodline members. We got Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. And the 4th member now rumored is Hikuleo, who is another Bullet Club guy from New Japan coming in. And he's tall. What is he, like 6'7" tall guy?
Something like that.
Yeah, he's 6'7", 6'8". He looked like a 6'8" version of Seth Rollins. He kind of looks like him. No, he does.
Yeah, he's apparently coming in now. So I think he'll be the 4th guy for the new Bloodline. And then you got Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and then probably Jacob Fatu will be on Roman's side since he's closer related to the Usos and Roman Reigns. I think that we'll see Jacob Fatu actually be a babyface with Roman Reigns. So we'll have the 4-on-4 at War Games, and at some point we'll probably get the revelation that The Rock was actually the one pulling the strings. And I think everybody pretty much summed it up how it'll likely play out, but you never know. We could get some twists and turns, and we probably will. Maybe The Rock does come back, although he has an elbow injury now, so who knows if that's going to delay whatever plans he has for coming back to WWE or not.
Surgery?
I don't know if he's having surgery yet, but yeah, he's got some kind of injury he's dealing with right now. Cleaver Colin Andrews sent in a $5 super chat. Shout out to Colin. Hope you're doing well. He says, add who you want to this version, but the OG Bloodline for life. We know The Rock is calling stuff with Solo. I can't wait for it all to explode. Absolutely. It's going to be great when we finally get The Rock and Roman Reigns in the mix. And even when Roman comes back, it's going to be a lot of fun to see the crowd react to him and everything. Like this is what Vince wanted all along with Roman Reigns, for Roman to be the top baby face. And it's finally going to happen now, and it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. I think SmackDown has been hurting without Roman. I mentioned it earlier. SmackDown has kind of fallen off a little bit for me without Roman Reigns being on the show. And, kind of like when MJF was gone, waiting for MJF to return. Now I'm waiting for Roman Reigns to return and just counting the days until he's back. So once he's on SmackDown again, as Jim Ross would say, business will definitely pick up. And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Psycho Jet Black says, thoughts on the rumor that WWE will hold off Rock and Roman until WrestleMania 42 instead of 41 so they could do Rock versus Cody? Will Rock's injury delay things further? I mean, that seems to be really pushing it. Like, I feel like they should pull the trigger on it. But then again, what about Cody and The Rock? I still make the argument that if The Rock can do it, he should come back and beat Cody and then have Rock and Roman Reigns at 42 in Las Vegas, full circle for the title. I know you don't need the title on the line, but I would love to see that at this point. I feel like you gotta pull the trigger on Rock and Roman sooner than later. And really, they should do both matches. But I think if Rock beats Cody for the title and then faces Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I mean, they could save Rock and Cody for Royal Rumble potentially, but that's what I would like to see personally. I want to see Rock win the title and then drop it to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Where does Rock injury come from? Did he like announce it on his Instagram or something?
I looked on NoDQ.
Did he show his elbow was it all?
Yeah, he injured himself filming that new movie that he's doing based off that UFC
I didn't
fighter.
see it. I didn't see it. So did he show his elbow? Was it swollen? Did it have what was wrong with it?
Swollen, yeah.
Okay, so he actually showed. I was just wondering how much if he was working.
He did like a whole video and was talking about it.
I gotta go check it out. I mean, because sometimes you can get creative and work that to make the fans think you ain't anywhere close to coming back, and then boom.
Like a swerve, like throw fans off the set.
It's just weird because you would think that he just wouldn't say anything.
Yeah,
like, nobody knew when he was coming back anyway. But the fact that he had to tell everybody, I don't know. I mean, in Hollywood, somebody like him has access to all kinds of stuff. So I'm even more intrigued now knowing that he has an injury, whether it's real or not.
There you go. There's the footage of him with the elbow. Can't really see it too well because of the lighting. But
the caption saes banged up, so that makes me think it's maybe not that bad.
No.
Like he said,
he'll be all right. Yeah, he's The Rock. I mean, he has all that money. He get the best care in the world. If it is,
could be just a promo for his damn movie.
We got a super chat here from Daryl ZAR $14. Thank you for that. Says SmackDown hurting as Cody is a boring champion. Well, Virtue, I know you're not the biggest fan of this run with Cody at this point, and you know we've talked about this over the past few weeks, like the fact that he lacks any challengers that can realistically beat him. That's definitely hurting his run. Like we all want to see Cody versus The Rock. They planted that seed the night after WrestleMania, and hell, even Roman Reigns versus Cody in a third match, a rubber match, is something that they can do.
I mean, Aaron, Cody wrestled Seth Rollins. He wrestled Roman Reigns. He wrestled Brock Lesnar in a series of matches. He wrestled Roman Reigns again. The whole tease with The Rock. How do we not expect Cody to have to wrestle top names? Because that's all he's really wrestled. And then so you're going to this post WrestleMania, and with all due respect to, Logan Paul and AJ Styles, it's not the same as those guys I mentioned.
Right. Big G, anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, just a quick question around the horn. You can say yes or no. Do you guys expect Roman to return at MSG in a couple weeks or SummerSlam?
SummerSlam.
Okay.
Yeah, he might be back at Money in the Bank to set up SummerSlam, but I think
Money in the Bank since
he'll probably come back on a pay-per-view, I think.
Yeah.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, Virtue, does your internet company hate you?
Maybe
tonight.
Is it back? Is it doing it again?
No,
you've been fine. You've been good.
I think that's
I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna do some diagnostics and figure out the source of the problem. We'll work on it.
Still not as bad as Mr. Tito's issues when he was on the No DQ review. That was like
I remember insane. Way back, 30 episodes ago or longer. I had that Darth Vader thing happen to me before. I remember it happening. So, and then it went away. But I'll figure it out.
All right, and Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, at least Cody Rhodes is not wrestling Dolph Ziggler. Hey, Psycho Jet Black, what are your thoughts on Ricochet leaving WWE? Like, how are you going to make jokes now with Ricochet being gone?
And this, I don't know, this Cody run, I don't know. Like, he looks like an idiot. Like, I want to keep this really quick. I just want to mention he looks like an idiot. At first, Logan Paul was going to defend the U.S. title. Like, he wanted champion for champion. Then Logan said, no, you idiot, I'm not going to do it. And then Cody just says, okay. And then AJ, the fake retirement with AJ, he just falls for it. And AJ says, all right, give me another title match, you idiot. And then Cody says, okay. Like, I don't want to cheer for him.
Fair enough.
Don't cheer for him. You don't have to.
I mean, you're supposed to want to cheer for your babyface, though. Like, I don't know. The logic, he's getting out.
It's like Virtue said. He faced the three top best contenders in WWE: Seth, Lesnar, and Roman. And now, nothing against AJ Styles. AJ Styles is phenomenal, like he says. But You know, you can't compare apples to oranges, TJS. You have the best of the best, and then you have what you're given.
Well, I mean, he did get a 5-star match at Backlash, so maybe
I told you guys, sometimes it's about the chase. It's like Tom and Jerry, or it's like the whole point, the fun of the cartoon is them chasing each other, or Roadrunner and Coyote. But once you catch them, once they get the title, what the hell do you do with it?
Did you just mention Meltzer's 5-star match rating when 7 or 8 is high? So a 5 to me, a 5's like a C now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, so here's the deal. I'll give Cody one more month. Like I'll see who his next opponent is.
And TJS also, you got to think about this is. I don't want to say WWE's like dry spell, but we're building up towards Money in the Bank, and we're building up towards SummerSlam. This is the time from WrestleMania to SummerSlam where it's like, all right, we're going to do whatever we need to just to get to SummerSlam.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, unfortunately, AJ is, another filler opponent for Cody, and they're running it back.
Who's Cody gonna face at Money in the Bank? Who's legitimately left on SmackDown?
You have Randy Orton, and they got history. You need to build that. Put that program
that's gonna be SummerSlam. I think that's
Orton's
gonna be SummerSlam.
Orton's still feuding with the Bloodline. He's feuding with the Bloodline.
Yeah.
I think we're all cut up, right, Aaron?
Yeah. Mr. Tito sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Tito. Says no DQ presence at SummerSlam. Colin Andrew, the Cleaver. You guys be in contact with him. He'll be there. Josh Mansfield will be there. He asked me about a no DQ meetup. I don't think Virtue's going unless The Rock is on the card.
Depending on Roman's role, possibly.
No, said he might.
Hell, if The Rock is on the card, I may consider going, but that's pretty much the only way I think I'm going to go at this point. If The Rock is on the card, I may have to consider it, but otherwise, I'm probably content staying at home watching it here. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Psycho. Says, seriously, it feels that WWE is booking the wrestlers as where they should be, whereas in the past they would force someone like Ricochet to cut promos. That's true. They definitely play to the strengths of the wrestlers now. And, with Nakamura and some of the other Japanese and Mexican wrestlers, like they use the subtitles for the video packages. And, it's not forcing them to go outside of their comfort zone too much. Although I think sometimes you got to try to do something outside of where you're comfortable and put them to the test. With Ricochet, they tried. Like, you can't say WWE did not give Ricochet an opportunity on the mic. And TJS, you brought up the thing with Drew McIntyre earlier.
That was crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I did see some comments online. People were saying, well, Ricochet did good promos in like Lucha Underground, but those were pre-tapes. It's one thing to do a good pre-taped promo.
When you put Ricochet out there with a live microphone, it never went.
Cesaro couldn't cut it either. They tried to give Cesaro a push.
These 3 ropes.
He
messed up something. The 4 ropes.
4 ropes. I'm the best within these 4 ropes. But yeah, exactly. Like he couldn't cut it on the mic. He couldn't deliver what Vince wanted. He wants somebody who can do it all. Somebody who can wrestle, who can cut promos, who can play to the fans and has like the whole package, who has all the attributes. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, Aaron, I'm glad you liked the song I sent you. Yes, Psycho Jet Black made us an AI song, and I'll have to play it on a future No DQ review. Maybe 300. I might have to save it for 300, so you guys have something to look forward to. Psycho Jet Black made a song. Maybe he'll make another one. Maybe he can make one with little references to every person on the panel. One for Virtue, one for TJS. But yeah, he made a general No DQ one, so I'll have to share that with everybody at some point. Thank you for that, Psycho Jet Black. And on that note, we are caught up.
All right, let's do our last words, and then we'll close it up. Go ahead, Big G.
Yes, Aaron, if you want to throw up the lovely graphic. Yep, right there on TikTok, Big Baller G 1988. Twitter or X or Twix, whatever you want to call it, NoDQ _ Big Baller G, and Insta NoDQ _ Big Baller G 1988. And then that is it for the Big Baller.
Thank you. TJS.
Well, good stuff, guys. Always love being on. Quick plug, stay tuned. On Thursday, we will have the Clash at the Castle predictions. So tune in. You can follow me on X at TYLRJSPHSMTH. And like I said, always happy to be on, happy to be here. And it looks like we have another super chat. But that's all I got for plugs. So thanks.
And hey, now you guys, maybe somebody should super chat and ask Big G something since he's already packed up his headset here.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. All right. Thank you, TJS. Go ahead, Walter.
All right. So for me on X, I'm at Walter Alex Cruz, the Cow Fire Farms Instagram, the at Rage of Wrestling YouTube. The next UFC watch along is UFC 303, which is Chandler versus McGregor, June 29th. And with all this, I'm thinking about making a video. With all this Who Killed WCW going on, I'm going to try to do the 10 best things that WCW did right. But it takes a lot of research, people, because WCW was bad. And I've been looking at a lot of old stuff, and god damn it. Like, wow.
Well, they did a lot of things right until they weren't doing things right. I mean, you got the Cruiserweight division. That worked for a while. The NWO worked for a while. Bill Goldberg worked for a while. Diamond Dallas Page worked for a while. Crow Sting worked for a while. Lex Luger worked for a while. That's 7 or 8 things right there. Stuff that did work.
Aaron, maybe you should make a video about that. I saw your thread on X. Maybe you should make like a video about it.
Okay, well, maybe I will.
Maybe we could do it together, Aaron.
I mean, hell, even the Giant, they booked the Giant pretty well for a while in WCW. Like, he was getting over. Coming out there choke slamming everybody and choke slamming the referees. And, he did some great stuff too. But anyways, shout out to Caleb Jacobs. He sent in a $2.12 super chat. He says, I enjoyed Ricochet as a wrestler. He's awesome. Yeah, he's a great wrestler. Ricochet is very athletic. Does a lot of cool stuff, and he'll succeed wherever he goes. Like, he is one guy who's not going to have trouble getting paid well and having opportunities. The guy is very talented, and whatever he does, I wish him the best. If he comes back to WWE, cool. If he doesn't, he'll find his way. Anyways, guys, stay tuned to NoDQ.com. As mentioned earlier, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing our predictions. Big G's ready for bed, so no more super chats directed at Big G. He's done for the night. Virtue. Oh, wait. Whoa.
No.
Psycho Jet Black sent in $2, and I don't know what he's saying here. Hey, Big G.
Steelers
my favorite Steelers moment.
Which is what?
When we
Do you have it on that blanket? I thought that was a Steelers blanket. Oh, it's a jacket.
No. I thought it was a blanket, too.
I see Donald Duck.
Yeah, it's my Donald Duck jacket.
What are you, Jeff Meacham?
No,
that would be Mickey Mouse. If he had the Mickey Mouse jacket, he'd be
the black ones. The ones on the left.
Oh my god!
All right, so favorite Steelers moment, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I said Super Bowl 43, the last time we won the Super Bowl.
There you go. Simple enough. All right, Virtue, we can wrap it up.
All right, go to NoDQ, NoDQ.com/merch for shirts like I'm wearing. X.com. Follow me if you dare. At NoDQ_virtue. For Aaron, for Walter, for Big G, for TJS, and the whole NoDQ crew and galaxy, except my internet provider. Good night, everybody. We'll see you again next time.
Good night.